You can walk into a cafe with 5 different laptops on one table and still see 5 different chargers tangled underneath it. Some use slim barrel plugs, others use magnetic connectors, and some charge through USB-C. For something as universal as electricity, laptop charging has stayed surprisingly fragmented for decades, and yet every company claims its system is the smarter one. So why didn't laptop manufacturers just agree on a single plug from the beginning? The answer has less to do with stubbornness and more to do with power limits, engineering compromises, business strategy, and the long, messy evolution of modern laptops. Let's answer why, right here, on History of Simple Things. In the early days of laptops, there was no universal standard because laptops themselves were wildly different. Some machines were designed for business offices, others for students, and others for portable workstations that consumed huge amounts of power. Manufacturers created their own chargers because they were solving different engineering problems at the same time. Barrel plugs became common because they were cheap, durable, and easy to manufacture in different sizes. But every company adjusted voltage, amperage, and connector shape slightly differently, partly to avoid compatibility issues and partly to keep users inside their ecosystem. A charger that worked on one laptop could easily damage another if the electrical requirements did not match properly, so companies leaned toward proprietary designs instead of shared ones. Power delivery became one of the biggest reasons universal charging stayed difficult for so long. Lightweight office laptops may only need around 45 to 65 watts, while gaming laptops and mobile workstations can demand well above 200 watts under heavy load. Older USB standards simply could not handle that kind of power safely. Even modern USB-C only became capable of supporting up to 240 watts after newer USB power delivery revisions were introduced. Before that, many high-performance laptops still needed proprietary charging systems because standard USB-C could not reliably provide enough power. That is why gaming laptops often kept large charging bricks and specialized connectors long after thinner laptops started switching to USB-C. There is also a business reason manufacturers resisted standardization for years. Proprietary chargers created lock-in. If someone lost their charger, they usually had to buy an expensive replacement from the same company instead of borrowing one from another brand. Accessories became another revenue stream, especially before USB-C became widespread. Some manufacturers even embedded small authentication systems into chargers so unsupported third-party adapters would charge slowly or display warnings. Apple famously used MagSafe for years because it combined charging with a magnetic safety feature, while companies like Dell and Lenovo built recognizable charging ecosystems of their own. USB-C changed the conversation because it was designed to do far more than older charging standards. Instead of handling only electricity, USB-C could transfer data, video, and power through the same compact connector. With USB power delivery, devices could negotiate how much electricity they needed dynamically, making charging safer and more flexible than older fixed-voltage systems. A single USB-C cable could theoretically charge a phone, connect a monitor, and power a laptop all at once. But even then, confusion remained because not all USB-C ports are equal. Some only support charging, others support high-speed data, and others include technologies like Thunderbolt. Governments eventually stepped in because the lack of standardization created enormous electronic waste. Millions of perfectly functional chargers were thrown away every year simply because they no longer matched newer devices. The European Union pushed hardest for a common charging standard, eventually requiring USB-C support for many electronics, including most new laptops sold in the region. The goal was not just convenience, but reducing waste and lowering costs for consumers. Companies resisted at first, arguing that regulation could slow innovation, but the industry was already drifting toward USB-C anyway because consumers increasingly expected universal charging across phones, tablets, and laptops. Even now, a truly universal laptop charger is still harder than it sounds. Some ultra-powerful gaming laptops continue to require more electricity than many USB-C chargers can consistently deliver in real-world use. Cable quality also matters more than most people realize. Two USB-C cables may look identical, while supporting completely different charging speeds and power limits. Manufacturers also care about heat management, battery longevity, docking compatibility, and physical durability when choosing charging systems. A universal connector solves only part of the problem because laptops themselves still vary enormously in size, purpose, and power demands. Laptop charging became fragmented because the industry moved faster than universal standards could develop properly. Every manufacturer shaped designs around different power needs, hardware goals, and business incentives then. For years, proprietary plugs solved real practical problems, even while quietly frustrating many users alongside. But as technology matured, USB-C gradually emerged as the closest thing the industry has ever had to a universal answer. It is not perfect, and confusion still exists around charging speeds and cable capabilities, but the direction is becoming clearer now. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.